Welcome into another episode of Talking Business. I'm Scott Mann, and I'm joined today by JJ Patterson. JJ, thanks for joining me.
Thanks, Scott. I appreciate this.
So JJ, let's go ahead and get right to it and tell us a little bit about what you do. You are in computer science and you work at Pellissippi State Community College. So go ahead and tell us a little bit about what you do now.
Yes, I work for the internal audit department within Pellissippi State. My title is an information security network auditor. Basically, the responsibilities within the internal audit in that position lies in the governance structure, general data application, integrity of the data. And what I mean by that is an internal auditor with information security looks at your vulnerable systems / critical infrastructures of the college. One of the good examples that I could use would be like, and a lot of people don't realize that if you look at your HVAC system, your heating and air, that's all controlled computer modules now. It's not just a unit that's sitting on the back of the campus. It's all controlled by computer data. And one of the things that I do is look and basically see if it can be hacked. And if it can be, those are some things that I do in a nutshell. And basically, I work with all areas of the campus and all departments to make sure their baseline is meeting policies, procedures, and compliance as well.
So you're basically trying to break the system.
Pretty much, yes.
Nice.
It can be fun.
So JJ, tell us a little bit about how you got into this position and any kind of trainings, education, certifications that have helped you along the way, continuing education credits, anything along those lines.
Absolutely. I knew, and I'll try to make this, I can talk forever, so you'll have to shut me up. I knew going into my freshman year of high school what I'd be doing. I was always the one who'd like to, matter of fact, short story. So our freshman teacher in microcomputers at the time, that was when Netscape came out, and they said, internet. Who wants to connect this computer to the internet? And people saying, what's the internet? May I remind you, this was the early 90s. And here I am raising my hand going crazy. Yeah, I'll do it. I'll do it. I knew then that getting into the components of what a computer is, tearing it apart, putting it back together, it was just something that was a great interest to me. And I loved it. And every time I turned around, I was always trying different things. So from then on, I knew going into college that was the field I wanted to go into. And I took the approach a little different. I started at Pellissippi State for an associate's degree. But while going to school, I had the opportunity to actually start working as a contract worker with Pellissippi State as a computer operator. That was my first job. They did not require any experience, except you must know how to run a computer, which I had some experience with that, and got the first job as a computer operator, and I got to see all the good background the background of what Pellissippi does on their servers and mainframes and different things like that. Years later, there was a computer technician position that opened up, and I took that position and basically worked my way up a ladder pretty much to where I started with a computer operator. Then I went to fixing computers, people having issues, software compliant or software issues, applications, email, printer jams, anything you can think of, I've pretty much done it.
You helped me out several times with those as well.
Absolutely, absolutely. And those are things that this position that I'm in now, and I'll say this, and I hope this might help if someone is interested in the security field. This is not a beginner position. I don't, you may, but I don't think it's likely with no experience at all and getting a college degree and jumping into an information security audit position. It's probably not going to happen. There are some things you need to have in order to get in this position. So I would encourage people, yes, you're looking at a bachelor's degree to have this position. I'm also a certified ethical hacker. That's a certification, and then certified information security auditor as well. So those are applications, and people say, you mean hacking? Is that there is an ethical way of doing it? Yes, that's what this job does. We don't know what the system might be unless we hack it. So when we look and say, okay, we're going to meet with the finance department and we're going to look at their server and we're going to look and see if there's any sensitive data. We're going to look and see if it's vulnerable with this state or that state. Well, we go ahead and see what we can get. And then we have a meeting and say, okay, Scott, this is what we found. And sometimes it's fun to see their eyeballs get as big as quarters, and because they're like, what? He was able to do this. So, but it's good to know, because here's the thing, they would rather me do it than have somebody from the outside do it. Absolutely. So that's why we do these things. So basically, yes, the education part, you need your degree. And I would strongly, strongly recommend, if you're going into a private sector in this field, pursue every certification that you can get.
Absolutely. And I will be happy to link out any certifications in the description below this video as well. Okay. So obviously, besides getting to ethically hack computers, what do you enjoy most about your job?
My favorite thing is sitting down across the table, and I'll tell the person, this is our objective. What is your objective? And we find out that there's a lot of agreements. When you hear the word auditors coming, most people run. And the paradigm has kind of shifted in that over the last 5 years, especially when it comes to information security, especially the auditor that's tagged in on that title. He's a good person. I don't want to just blame it to me, but that person is a good person. They want you to be able to, they want to help you reach your objective and make sure you're safe, make sure you're compliant, make sure there's some things, even if that is pointing out your wrongs. And I think those will be people you appreciate down through the line instead of push away. So yes, helping others meet their objective. That's my favorite part about it.
Okay. What are some challenges that you find with your job?
Keeping up with all the latest information. My wife wonders sometimes why I'm up reading wee hours of the night and maybe even looking on my phone 24/7. If you do not read and keep up with the latest trends, with the latest vulnerabilities, yes, that's something that's 24/7. Every morning that I wake up, there's a briefing that I look at, that I get sent. This is what's going on. There's some great websites. A lot of it coming from our government. Homeland Security sends out things that we look at, that every organization, whether it's private, whether it's public, whether it's education, whether it is the business side, don't care what it is, we all use the same technology in different ways. So we get briefings on server updates, what's been penetrated, what's been hacked, the latest hacks, and different things like that. So if there is a struggle, if there's a challenge, it would be actually keeping up. And if you don't keep up with it, you're lost in 24 hours.
So with keeping up with the latest trends, are there continuing education credits units that are required for ethical hackers or somebody in a computer science field?
Yes, especially going to get the certified ethical hacker certification. You have to take, first of all, you take the certification, you pass that, you get certified, but every year you have to confirm it. Same way with your CISA. That, to my understanding, and you may have to check this, but just about every information certification works the same way. You get certified, but you also have to confirm it every year, every 6 months. Some of them may be every 3 years.
So when you say confirming, is that just going in and checking a box, or is it kind of taking a exam, a quiz? Or...
Some requires you to take another exam, but some is checking a box pretty much. Yeah, okay. You said that best. Yeah, that's the easiest way to put that.
Okay. So the question that everybody wants to know, salary range for somebody in computer science, whether it be programming, networking, cyber defense, what are we looking at salary range?
Okay, it's all over the place, and I'm going to give a range. But if you're looking, and I'm going to stick with the information security slash cyber slash. I'm going to stick with that field because you can get into network admins, you can get into IT technicians, you can get into all that. But I want to stick with the information security field. The range in that, going into more of a beginning stage, I would go starting at 50,000. Now this is in a range of where we're at today, where we're at in this area. You got going to Washington, Atlanta, places of bigger cities. It goes up there pretty good range. But I'm going to say anywhere from, especially in this area, anywhere from $50,000 to $150,000 a year.
Wow,
Depending, yeah, it's a good salary.
In 2021 in Knoxville, Tennessee, which I would consider to be like a medium market.
Yep.
So you're talking, if you were to go, the larger the market, Atlanta, LA, New York, DC, those ranges are obviously going to go through the roof because cost of living is just simply higher in those areas as well.
Yes.
So excellent. So JJ, what advice would you give to a student starting college or maybe returning, looking for a new career path?
The field is wide open, number one, because they're all the time looking for your cyber people who are looking at to getting in to be able to assist. They're running out of people that are interested in looking at vulnerabilities on systems. And they want people that's got that knack. They want people that's interested. It's one thing to say, oh, I'm just going to pick this field. But if there's anything I could tell students as far as advice, it would be this: get some experience. Don't base everything on just the education. Get some experience. Where I found that it helped me is while I was going to school, during the day, I was getting my experience in the mainframe room, in our server room, learning that on hand. So therefore, when these positions came available, I did have experience. I also had the education, but I had real on-the-job experience. And most of your people are looking for that. And I'm going to go ahead and say this. When you get out of the education part, I work for higher ed. A lot of that requires degrees. When you get into the private sector, a lot of them don't even require college degrees. They would rather have someone with 20 years of experience versus a 4-year degree.
That's great that you were able to find somebody that was willing to help you and start saying, hey, let's look at this, and I'm going to teach you about the server room and all these other different areas outside of your specific job description as well. So that way you were able to broaden your field.
Yep. So it's helped Scott so well because as I go back and look, when I talk to someone in a different department now, and I know I know Pellissippi's pond very well. Put me somewhere else, it would take me a little bit of a learning curve. But I'm where I'm at right now. I feel like I'm very good at what I do. But if I talk to someone in a different department, I know exactly what they're saying when they're giving me acronyms that a lot of people may not know. Oh yeah, I know what that is. And a lot of that's got to do with where I stood 15 years ago, and here it is following the ladder on up. So it's been a great experience. It's been some good learning, and there's been some rewards with it along the way.
So what I just got out of that is it's okay to work your way up the ladder and not just come in straight up at the top.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You get more well-rounded, and the people that you meet along the way are relationships that you can go back on, and that's awesome.
Yep. And I think those are things that you look at as well, where it used to be coworkers and now I'm working out of that department. It's so easy to call them because they know my mindset, they know my attitude, they know my expression when I ask them a certain question. They know if I'm being serious, or they know, but it's good to have those working experiences in the past with them because they know who I am now. And that makes them like the auditor now.
That's great. Well, JJ, thank you for your time. And I'm sure anybody who watches this will be impressed. So thank you very much.
All right, Scott, thank you. Have a good day.
You as well.